I'm just gonna start this video just with a bit of a cold open and do a bit of a personal note. Thank you to everyone who has reached out to me since I put out my channel update video. I've got a lot of people reach out to me, people I frankly didn't expect. I had some of my previous Axis colleagues reach out to me. I've had people who I've dueled before in the past reach out to me. I've had some people who I've met in real life, people that I've known online, like reach out to me. It's been really touching. Really, thank you guys so much. That's probably why I've come back today after the whole shebang with DZBT15 and whatnot, and we're doing a DZBT15 video. And obviously I have to talk about this one. Like there's no way I'm going to get out of talking about this set without giving this guy justice, because my god, Bushi Road has accepted my check in the mail and they've given me a full deck. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mr. here. Today we are back to talk about Margodiute, Favrneel, or Purgatory Dragon Deity Favrneel. My god, this is my favorite dark stakes deck ever, even more than Chronojet Dragon. I think anyone who's known me personally knows that I freaking love this guy to death, and like he's the only dark stakes deck I actually keep like on my person. Straight up, every other dark stakes deck I play, like after like say few weeks or months, I just sell it or trade it off. I just can't be bothered. But Favrneel has never been that. Favrneel has always been a deck I've really liked, and today they finally made it. They've made him into a real deck. So for those who don't know, this is DZBT15, the Strike of Illusionary Shadows. But I prefer the Japanese name, Holo Thunders and Shadow Assault. I think that's way cooler. Like, come on. And you know what's the coolest part? They literally have the word thunder in its name, right? So you know what else is in thunder? Yeah, that's right. You can guess it already. It is the one, the only Narukami. Woo! But okay, enough about DZBT15. I will get into that set a bit more at the end of this video, because there are some implications you should know. Now, let's talk about this deck. So Favrneel, for those of you who have no idea what this deck is a deck from the Nintendo game Dear Days. Yeah. Yeah, I went to borrow a Switch so I can do that bit. Yeah, so Favrneel is from the game, the Nintendo Dear Days game. And then when they released Dear Days 2 back in 2024, they released Favrneel Rheingold. And I actually traveled down to Tokyo for his DZBT06 release, alongside obviously Draconic Kaiser Vermilion, The Blood, Grand Grey Seed, Messiah, Chronojet, everything. It was one of the blowout sets for me, like as a whole. Like everything in that set I loved, and that set has aged extremely poorly. Like you look at what happened in DZBT06 and it's like, holy crap. Like compared to DZBT05, DZBT07, DZBT06 is like one of the worst legacy sets ever. Glory Maelstrom is just thrown out now. Now they just play reverse Maelstrom for some silly ass reason. Draconic Kaiser Within the Blood is like 2 steps away from being completely irrelevant. Grand Grey Seek, let's not talk about him. Messiah is fine. I did the Messiah video, you guys liked it. Chronojet, just the whole deck just got switched out. Now it's just Chrono Icon. Like if you look at what happened in DZBT06, it's like, oh wow, they did not stick a good landing. But you know who did stick a landing? Favrneel. Because when Favrneel got Favrneel Rheingold in DZBT06, they also released another support card for him down the line in DZBT09 called Avidity Slave. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I will need you to check out the previous Favrneel videos linked in the description. It is basically mandatory in order for you to actually understand this video, so do check it out. I'm gonna just stop there because I can go on and on and talk about the history of Favrneel. His long 4 years of Purgatory, which is funny because Purgatory is a Catholic concept. Google it. But today we're gonna talk about Favrneel as a deck. It is gonna be really fun. I have never had more fun playing a deck in standard for the last 5 years till today. I'm not even kidding. This deck genuinely feels like a fever dream. The cards they released, even though they're only like 200 yen, and I paid extra for it, okay, just so I could get them on like pre-release, and I freaking adore it. This deck was released, like this deck was hinted at it through the next stream like 2 Thursdays ago at this point of recording. I've not stopped playing this deck. I've been playing this deck every day since then. I am addicted to it. It is actually fun. So let's talk about it, and I'll talk about its relevancy at the end. Okay, so that's just the context of Favrneel. Again, if you've never watched my previous Favrneel videos, I require you to watch it. I will go through the whole deck. I know some of you want to see the whole deck. I will give you the whole deck. But I do need you to actually sit through the previous Favrneel videos, because if you don't, you will not understand anything I'm saying, like at all. And you will want to understand what I'm saying, because this deck, really cool. Alright, so let's start from the basics. Now, the way that DZBT15 has come to fix Favrneel is the introduction of Purgatory. Purgatory is actually a brand new archetype that they created for Favrneel by literally dicing his name apart. Now, yes, you know, Purgatory is a Catholic belief, but who knew that Kidani also believes in Purgatory? Because they just took the first word of Purgatory, which is Mago, because, you know, it's called Mago Lute. So I'm going to try and zoom it in. Yeah, so Mago, and that is the new archetype name for Favrneel, Purgatory. And to commemorate this, they've given us a brand new right line, finally for Favrneel, a right line that actually works, a 2 and a 1. We don't have a 0, you can play whatever you want. I'm still going to play Chronojet, like the Crest version, because it's my favorite Dark States art ever. He's so cute. He's just a tourist. Look at him. He's so cute. I'm so sad that they replaced him with Ozempic Chronojet. Like, I'm genuinely pissed. Okay, I'm genuinely pissed that he got rid of the best art in that deck set. But you know what? I'll link the Chrono icon. I'll link the Chrono icon video link in the description, just so if you want to check out Ozempic Dren. But I'm not here to talk about Ozempic Dren. I'm here to talk about Purgatory. So, Chrono Dren is not from Purgatory. He can be visiting Purgatory, but he's not in Purgatory. These guys are, right? So, I'm going to go through each of their skills one by one, and then I'll talk about the support, because the keyword for Purgatory actually matters, and then I'll just go through the whole deck list, because it is very easy. This deck, generally, you can play this at any level. You can play this as a casual, you can play this at competitive, and I'm going to be even more frank, I think an infant can play this deck. It is not difficult. Genuinely, as long as you have a basic reading of Japanese, which I assume none of you can, you will be able to play this deck. It is genuinely that fun. So, let's get right into it, because I really love this deck very much. So first we start off with this one as the right line. This is Mago Keshin Minimus, or Purgatory Rose Maiden Mermes. Okay, so she's the new grade 1, and honestly she's really cute. Look at her. Like, she's like a Silver Thorn Maiden, but you know, she's not a whore. Ha 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 ha. Mcrafter 3000, you hear that? I made fun of your favorite Dark States wife. Ha ha ha. Okay, but anyways, what it does is very simple. When you wish to write a Purgatory grade 2 from your right deck, instead of discarding a card from your hand, you can pay the cost with Soul Plus 1. And I know what you're saying, Amnes, what the hell is a Purgatory grade 2? Well, there's only one in the whole game. This guy. Okay, I want to make sure it's clear that the keyword is Purgatory or Mago, which is why I'm saying it both in English and Japanese, because a lot of you are thinking of Perdition, which is, you know, the Kagero keyword. But that is Lengokyu, right? That's completely different. That's Purgatory Dragon. This is Mago, which is just Purgatory. And the Ma and the Go in Purgatory, at least here, is very different. They are using a different character for it, and that is like Demon Hell. So, despite it being called Demon Hell, it actually, through the force reading, becomes Purgatory. So, just in case you need to know, see? Demon Hell Rose Maiden. The Rose Keshin Avatar. Okay, so that's what it does. And of course, the second skill is that during your turn in your soul, as long as your Vanguard has the name Favrneel, is a grade 3 or greater, this card gets grade plus 1. Honestly, this is infinitely way better than Graham Grace's right line, like the new one that he got this set. Because he did get a good right line this set, right? But the fact that Mermes counts as a grade 2 shows that, you know, there's a lot of care put into counting for Favrneel. Because for those of you who know, Favrneel checks grades up to 13. Right, you need a sum of 13 Dark States grades in order to work. So if they're literally just telling you, oh yeah, this guy gets grade plus 1, that already helps the win con by literally just being printed on a card. I love it so much. This is the attention to detail that I tell people Bushiroad has. No one believes me. No one believes me. Everyone's like, no, they don't do card design anymore. Infinite Zero. No. Alright, and now we're gonna move on to the grade 2. Mago Toshi, Alvalaiku, or Purgatory, Gate Warrior, Elverike. At least that's how I read Elverike. Yeah, I'm trying my English and Japanese. But I have no idea how English is gonna translate this one. I suspect they'll just kill his name because English. I honestly, whoever's doing English translations at Bushiroad, sometimes you guys get absolute bangers, and sometimes you guys screw it up so bad it's not even funny. Okay, like holy crap! I will be willing to work for you for free to get you a better translation. Okay, because my God, what the hell are you guys cooking? But you know what you guys are cooking? A damn good skill. It's a damn good skill. Elverike's skill is that when a Favrneel that's great to a greater writes on top of this unit, you can move one card from your hand to the soul and draw 2 cards. Now, you may be wondering, Amis, isn't that what Eugene's grade 2 does? Yes, but this guy does it for free. It's insane. The real fact of the matter is that by putting a card from hand to the soul, you can get rid of the grade 3s that Favrneel is very famous for, his whole deck being. And then after that, you can draw a card. You can draw 2 cards, right? So you draw 1 for free, and then you draw to refund the card you put in. Which again is just busted. It's not like we're gonna end the game Yakuza style shit, but this is like a huge quality of life that Favrneel generally needed. Favrneel really suffers from hand bloat, and Favrneel really needs card draw. And the fact that we get card draw and filter is just mad. Not to mention, in case you have forgotten, Favrneel Rheingold triggers from the soul to Superior Crossride, but we'll get to him later. So again, the fact that you have ways to put cards from hand to the soul on top of base Favrneel's regular retire is already very good, because Favrneel's retire doesn't always trigger every turn. Because if you've learned anything from Infinite Zero Dragon and Chaos Breaker Dragon, is that people are so scared of them that we all just start playing evasion with Harri, Aprajia. Like, there is no way we're going to be able to retire now. So why not just have a guy that does it without a retire? It's really good. Again, this shows the commitment to the bit, and I love it so much. It shows that they care. It shows that, if Bushiroad wants to make good cards, they literally can. People who say that the design space of Bushiroad is dead, it's creatively bankrupt, we can't do it anymore, Vanguard's dying every day. Look at this. Okay, Favrneel is a deck that's literally never been a deck for 4 years, right? I've been telling everyone, Favrneel is 1 card away from being relevant. They just made him a whole new deck for free. I don't know why, but they just did it. So now that we've gone through Favrneel, it's time to go through the new support cards from DZBT15. Because while these 2 come from DZBT15, the 2 new Purgatory, grade 1 and 2, he does also have a brand new slew of cards to support him. And of course, because they're all very good, you have to play them at 4. Aegis Val Dragon is the triple rare. Malgrigas, the soul-sucking Life Spear, is the grade 2. And Greenfall Chimera is the grade 2 rare. And in case you haven't noticed, none of these cards have Purgatory in their name. So if you wish to play them in the right deck, you cannot. Okay, that's the whole point of how they designed it. You can see that they put in so much care. They do not want you to take these in the right deck. Instead, they want you to play this in the main deck because they want you to repeat all of these effects. So let's get straight into that. So a lot of the Favrneel new support, i.e. these three are all insanely broken. Let me just get it out of the way very clear. These 3 make the deck insanely playable. These 3 give the deck a future. But what these 3 do as well that's very surprising is that they copy a design space we actually haven't seen in a long time. 1, all 3 of them have a brand new archetypal effect that says that you can bind them from the soul during your main phase to trigger an effect. Or for Malgrigas, during the battle phase. And it's a hard once per turn, meaning after you trigger this effect, you can't trigger it again with another copy in the same turn. 2, the fact that they even bind themselves from the soul to do an effect is a reference to Horrendous, who is the original Favrneel support back in the Favrneel stand-up deck set. And he's probably the only guy who survives into modern day. Like, if you are building a Favrneel deck, this is probably the only legacy card you actually need. So yeah, and he's cheap, so you have no excuse to not buy him, and he's good for this deck, so please buy him. Okay, so really fun references aside, all 3 of these cards are highly essential at 4 copies each. If you cannot afford this one, I'm very sorry, because this is 15 yen, this is 50 yen, this is 80 yen. I overpaid for all these. I paid for like 3 yen. I paid for like 300 yen, 300 yen, 300 yen, 100 yen. So I definitely overpaid my share. But I have played like so much of this deck. I've played like at least 5 locals and I've won them. I've won them. That's insane. I've killed Yakuza. I've killed Harri. I've killed Lianon. I've killed Odium. This deck is actually able to do so, and I love to explain to you how right now. So I want to start off with a card that you should already know, which is Margoliu Taite, Favrneel Lion Goldo, or this is the Crossrider Favrneel, which is Purgation Great Dragon Emperor Favrneel Wrangle. Now Favrneel Wrangle is a cross-ride who triggers mainly when your opponent's grade 3, your front row gets 10k, this unit gets a crit. The condition is you just need the original Favrneel in the soul. Again, I have talked about Favrneel Wrangle to death in my previous 2 videos, and I've explained why he's not only a very good win con, he's also a very good setup con, he's just a very good card in general, but you know, he didn't really have much support. And now we get a lot of cool ways to actually play with and around him. So I'll love to explain that. First and foremost, we need to consider Greenfall Chimera, the grade 2 rare. Greenfall Chimera's effect is saying that when this card is discarded during your turn, during your ride phase, if your Vanguard is a Purgatory, you can move this card into the soul. Now, in case you have already forgotten everything I've just said, your 1, your 2, and your 3 is a Purgatory. So that means as long as you just discard this card during your turn, you can move it into the soul. That's already pretty good, right? It's a grade 2, you get a free 2 grades in your soul like a cycler. That is very, very good. But there is something I want to mention first before I move on to the second skill, and that is that, you know, there's a lot of people who like to fight about rulings online, and frankly, I do not like any of you, but I am going to get into the ring and beat you up myself, and this is what I want to say. There's going to be some whiny little brat who's going to comment, but Amis, your starter isn't Purgatory, it won't work, you don't know your rulings, you're a fake fan. I know who you are. You know who you are. Shut the fuck up. Now, that ruling does not work on this deck. Unlike Gancelot, the Solitary Knight, because Gancelot's skill is a continuous effect that tags the Royal Paladin Vanguard and then checks when it was discarded, which means if you played a grade 0 starter who is not a Royal Paladin, you don't get that effect, because when you discarded him, Gancelot is considered a blank vanilla. But the thing is, this card has its effect that will trigger when discarded if your Vanguard is a Purgatory, which means it checks at the end of the discard step, which is when you are already up to your Purgatory Vanguard, because this is a skill that is kept on the card innately without checking what your Vanguard was when you are going to ride. In English, for those of you who do not understand rulings, you don't need to care about the grade 0 starter, because all you have to do is just discard the card and play the right line that Kidani printed for you because I gave him money, and you win. Now, if you have any comments about how this interaction works, I will not reply anyone anymore, because it's clear none of you know how to read rulings. And the fact that I make one mistake in my lifetime and people still say, you don't know how to read. Okay, if you really think so, I'd love for you to produce me a result where you played this card and won. You've not. Please shut the fuck up. Thank you. Now, there's another way you can make people shut up, and that is the coolest part of this card, which is that it's not only a discard fodder, it's also a superior ride. The rare is a superior ride. Honestly, I don't know what the hell they were cooking, but they made the rare a superior ride. It's crazy, and I'm gonna tell you how, because it's actually it's a fair thing, okay? So, Greenfall Chimera was discarded during your turn, and it's put into the soul, because all your Vanguards are Purgatory, right? I gotta soul blast this for Mermes. So, now that I've got it out of the way, now, during your main phase, you can trigger his effect, which is, as long as your Vanguard is a Favrneel that's grade 3 or greater, you can bind this card from your soul and trigger one of 2 effects. So you just bind it out, okay? So, it has 2 effects. You get to choose one. One if your Vanguard is not Favrneel Rheingold, you can superior ride him from the deck. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you are on the original Favrneel and you're not on Favrneel Rheingold, when you bind him out, you can superior ride this. Yes, for free. That's it. All you have to do is just give up your green 4 Chimera and the Soul. You get to cross ride during the main phase for free. It's not even at the start of the main phase. It's not like a start the right phase as a little thing. No. You just have to go out for free. I want you to let that sink in. That is crazy. This is crazy. And the best part is, it's balanced. Because Favrneel Rheingold says he only gets his cross ride condition if your opponent is grade 3 or greater. Which means, if you're doing this going first, you don't actually get any benefit besides just having Favrneel Rheingold as a Vanguard versus, the original Favrneel. Which I will say, that's not always a good thing either, because Favrneel's regular skill to, put a card from hand to soul and draw one is actually one of the strongest effects of this deck if you play your cards right. So genuinely, the fact that they print you a jump right in which you may not actually want to jump right is genius. It is so smart that they would print you a going second option for Favrneel to actually, increase your firepower, and then a go first option if you do not wish to retire any more of your opponent's rear guards. It's so good, but it gets better. That's only for your first copy of Green 4 Chimera, if let's say you use it for this purpose and then you superior crossride. What happens if you already have a Favrneel Rheingold Vanguard? Well, you can still use it the following turn, which is if you bind it from your soul, and if your Vanguard is Favrneel Rheingold, and if you did not ride this turn and or trigger Persona Ride this turn, you get to trigger Persona Ride now, and for the rest of the turn, you just cannot trigger Persona Ride anymore. So in English, you are guaranteed a Persona Ride even if you do not have another copy of Favrneel Rheingold. Or, if you wish to use Favrneel Rheingold's copy to put him into the soul to subsidize the count plus 2 cost, you will be giving up your Persona Ride under normal circumstances. You don't need to do that anymore, because Green 4 Chimera just gives you back the Persona Ride. Then you can use the copy of Favrneel Rheingold as just a counterblast 2 fodder, and you still get to have your 30k to the front row. Sorry, 20k to the front row. I don't get it. Traditionally, when Bushiroad prints cards like this is a 900 yen promo. And the fact that he's a 50 yen card is absolutely shocking to me. But you know what? Bushiroad, I accept your apology. Thank you for not... You chose not to give Favrneel a single tournament promo for the last 3 years. Okay, this is a good apology. This is a damn good apology. But you know what? It keeps getting better. Green 4 Chimera is the main way in which you can ensure your consistency. But there's no point in consistency if you can't actually survive. That's where this guy comes in. We play 4 copies of Soul Sucking Spear, Malgrigas. Malgrigas is probably the weirdest card in the deck, wherein if you just read his card text slowly, you're gonna realize that this guy is just like 5 different cards in one, and I don't even know why, but it's just really funny. Actually, he's not even 5 cards in one. He's specifically 3 cards in one. But you can tell they printed him with a purpose. Malgrigas, when this unit attacks, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Favrneel Vanguard, this unit gets 5,000 power until the end of the turn. I don't need to explain what a 15k beasting does, right? The second skill is, at the end of the battle, this unit attacks. If your Vanguard is a Purgatory, put this card to the soul and draw a card. Which means that, this ability is active for, I don't know, turn 2 and turn 3. That is pretty good, right? That is a pretty good effect to have. It's just swing with a guy and move into the soul, draw 1. And I'll get into the move into the soul skill later, because there is some implications for that. And that is in the third skill, which is when your grade 3 or greater Favrneel is being attacked by a rearguard, if the sum of your grades in the soul of dark states is 13 or more, you can bind this card from the soul, and your opponent's attacking rearguard gets minus 10,000 power until the end of the battle. This is a skill that can be only used by Malgrigas once per turn. So basically, you now get not only a free 15k guy that moves himself to the soul to draw 1, you can now switch him out of the soul as a 10k shield. Yes, so you know who he's a reference to, right? He's not only a copy of Boulder X Dragon, he's also Knight of Silence Gallatin, or Knight of Darkness Rugos. Guys, the name of this channel is Ahmed004. I play every encounter deck that is a paladin. You just literally combine two of my favorite things into one. Cheap aggro, defensive guy. Why? I don't get it. If you look at the stuff that other people get this set, it is horse crap compared to the literal gold that Favrneel Ryan Gold gets. And this is Favrneel has been missing good cards since forever, right? You're telling me we get a grade 2 gamer, but it gets even better. Favrneel historically has a counter charger who costs about 4,000 yen because it's a tournament promo. Well, you don't need him anymore. You now have Aegis Valdragon, a card who is, I dare say, 50 times better than that guy. Well, okay, to be fair, there is an argument for the old Eligios, but like, let's put it this way, we're in a format where Eligios just doesn't work because of Chaos Breaker Dragon, so I'm not playing it. Play this guy instead. Now, this card, Aegis Valdragon, only gets its effects if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Favrneel. So again, this is a bit like the Genstot ruling that I poked at just now, so you can't really use this earlier on, and I'm gonna be honest, that is for the best, because if you read what the rest of this skill is, you're gonna want that skill type to a grade 2 or greater Favrneel. In a soul, again, you can bind this guy, and if you do, choose a card from your drop zone that's the same grade or less than your Vanguard, and call it to the rearguard circle, and you cannot repeat this effect anymore for the rest of the turn. That's his activated skill from the soul. Now, his battle skill, his auto rearguard skill, is that when this unit attacks, if the sum of your grades in your soul is 13 or more dark states, you can choose your Vanguard. That Vanguard's power and this unit's power is changed to an 18,000 base for this turn. Then at the end of the battle, this unit attacks, you move this card to the soul, choose from your opponent's rearguards, retire it, and then you countercharge one. If you have no idea what I just read, let me summarize it for you. 1. This is a literal Negro Bone in Favrneel. Why is Favrneel getting better drop zone recursion effects than Nairos in a set with Nairos support? Only Kidani knows. But it gets even better when I tell you he's not only a way to clone Favrneel into Majesty Lord Blaster for a turn, or technically Flame of Hope Airmo. No, Flame of Desire Airmo. I mean, you could call this Flame of Desire Airmo, but it gets even better when you literally get to have the strongest part of Rondis on top of a counter charge. And all that text here is free. I didn't pay a single energy for it. It's all free. Everything you just see here is free. Completely handed to you. Again, this is the apology that Favrneel has been waiting for 4 long, sad years. It's really good. This is really good support. Like, if you look at these 12 cards in a vacuum, you understand that there's not only a brand new game plan loop from the ground up, they also want you to actually build into a certain playstyle and end on a certain win con, all in a self-contained loop. I love it. I love it so much. It's incredible. It really is. So, now I know what you're wondering. Amis, I have heard Favrneel's deck discussion. I fully believe in the calls now. I will play this deck for every WGP for the rest of my life. Can you tell me how to build this deck? And the answer is yes, my child. Absolutely, I will teach you how to play the best Dark States deck of all time. The deck list, besides everything I just told you, is that you need to play 4 copies of Favrneel Rheingold. Again, this one's pretty obvious. If I have to explain to you why, I'm gonna punch his camera. 3 Horrendous. Horrendous is the other way to ensure Persona right, as I mentioned before in the previous videos, but you don't really need him that much because Horrendous is a discard 1, whereas Greenfall Chimera is a free, so you can just consider him as copies like what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of like the Persona right, but like you don't normally use him unless you're like very desperate, which is fine. We play 4 copies of this brand new spell from DZBT12. This is Great Magic Accumulation. Great Magic Accumulation is basically just a complete drugs card. Like, it is not only a free move to soul grade 3 Dark States card, it is technically also like a, I don't really know what to call this. It's like half of For the Revoltis, you can like top 3, move a card from your hand to move one of them into soul, move this card into soul, choose a card from your soul and call it out. So it is a net 0, it doesn't plus you at all, but like it gives you so much extra dark states grades. You want to play this. You absolutely want to. This is a pretty good generic dark states order, and I'm really glad that I got it. Big thanks to mcrafton3000 because he actually like he took my credit card and he forced me to buy it during DZBT 12. Thank you so much. I was hesitating. I was like, I'm gonna wait till it's 500 yen. He was like, it's never gonna be 500 yen. So thank you. I hope you are not watching this video because I don't want you learning about Favrneel. We played 2 copies of Walk the Dark. Walk the Dark is the only energy user in this deck, like besides the Ace unit. The inclusion of Walk the Dark is absolutely necessary in this deck. Because this Walk the Dark skill is that, you know, you can play this as a defensive blitz order from your soul. When you play it, you need to pay EV3, choose one of your Vanguards being attacked, it gets 15,000 power, and you know, if you played it from the soul, you can move this card to the bottom of your deck, which is actually very important because this is Favrneel's anti-deck out mechanism. Now, I know everything I just said does not make sense to any sane person at all, but if you have played this deck for at least half an hour, you will understand Favrneel has a very high deck out rate, especially when you play against stall decks like Harri and Yakuza, of which you can beat them. Let me repeat that, you can beat them. This is a completely winnable matchup for Favrneel, which sounds completely stupid that I'm telling you that Favrneel can beat 2 tier 0 decks, but let me tell you, he can. You can as well. It is generally very doable, and all you have to do is play 2 copies of this card because it ensures Favrneel can play literally ad infinitum forever. 1 copy of the Ace unit. I don't need to explain the Ace unit to you. For Philia, Philia is just a generic way to draw cards and move into soul, early aggro. It combos very well with my good friend Mr. Malgrigas, so not really much to say here. She's also the only grade 1 in this deck that actually does anything, because Favrneel doesn't really have good grade 1s. We throw out Avidity Slave because of Green 4 Chimera, so you don't really need Avidity Slave anymore, but Philia is a generic. It is still pretty alright. You can just play her here. I understand this is probably going to be a big like cry, like why must I play this? You actually do need to play this. Like if you wish to play Favrneel competitively, this is actually the only good grade 1 Dark States card he wants. Like if you can't afford it, there are a few other cards you can play, but they are going to compromise your competitive viability, because the whole point of Philia is to combo with Erudition. And also because Favrneel is a retired deck, so you know you can actually hit the condition of 1 or less rearguards pretty easy. But if you don't wish to or can't afford Philia, you can still play this deck without Philia. Just don't expect to achieve the results that I've been able to, because Philia is a big part of their game plan, and if I told you that it's not, I would be lying to you. So I don't want to lie to you. For Alim, for those of you who know, you know, I love this art. She's so cute, man. Look at her. I'm so glad I got her at DivineZ, so I'm so glad. Alim is, this is my favorite art. Alim, it's a Dark States PG. You do need 4 Dark States PG. You don't actually have space for Elementary Sanctitude. Straight up just because you need to check 13 grades in the soul for Favrneel. You can try and squeeze in a copy of Elementary Sanctitude because of the Harri Fairfield matchup. But I would just tell you kill him before Fairfield. It is completely possible. I've done it. But if you don't trust me on that, which is completely reasonable, you can try and slot in a copy of Elementary Sanctitude. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that. But you can. Like, there's nothing stopping you from being able to do that. But I just like Alim. I like Alim very much. And also because of the Dark States grade requirements, so I'm just doing that. But again, if you wish to just slot in Elementary Sanctitude, it's completely your choice. I respect it because it is a good choice. Galaman Geet as an over trigger. This is pretty easy. You know, it's a restanding Vanguard deck. If it's a free Force 1, Force 2, just take the Force 1, Force 2, man. Don't complain. You can play Velnot in this deck. It's absolutely possible. It's additional attack for a rearguard. And Favrneel's rearguards are pretty strong thanks to, you know, the passive of Favrneel Rheingold. But I just like the Force 1, Force 2 too much. It's just way too Hyrosaki. Like, as long as you just pull Galaman like every turn onwards, your Vanguard's a literal death sentence to your opponent. It's just really that fun. For heal, I just play my favorite heal art, don't mind me. You force them deviate, but like Favrneel doesn't really care about grade 0s in soul, but like I don't know, I just wanted to flex a bit. 8 crit total. This is my favorite crit art, so I'm just gonna play it. Nothing you can do to stop me. And 3 effect draw. It sounds strange, I'm telling you so much about Favrneel's deck out problem, but I'm still playing draw. That's because if you've noticed, every card in Favrneel is still in net 0. It doesn't really plus. So if you want to maintain a basic assault, you do actually still need draw. And you don't need to worry about front because of Favrneel Rheingold skill, which gives the front row 20k. So anyone who tells you play fronts in Favrneel is frankly a madman, because there's no point in giving power to a front row that just doesn't exist. Like, I'm pretty sure you can infer that from everything I've said in this video. And that will wrap up this Favrneel Purgatory deck profile. Yeah, I'm trying my best to not make this video as long as the Yakuza video, because my god, that video took... That video's filming is like an hour plus of footage, like at minimum. But, you know, we don't need that much time to talk about Favrneel. Favrneel, while this is a brand new deck coming up, and fourth, this is everything that I've been talking about for the last 4 years. Anyone who's watched me talk about Favrneel for like at least 2 minutes of your lifetime, you know that I am down and down a complete advocate of this deck since forever. Favrneel is one of the designs that has really stuck with me for a long time. It's not just because I'm Catholic. I just really like this deck. I'm really glad that it's gotten a complete overhaul to the point where it's no longer recognizable from the trash it used to be. Previously, I've always said Favrneel was 1-2 cards away from relevancy, especially because of Rheingold, who is such a strong endgame, and the fact that they bolstered the endgame by giving you a consistency tool, a mid-range tool, and a sustain tool. It is just complete madness that they can even do this, and the fact that they give you a brand new right line that doesn't, you know, make you want to cut yourself in the knee. It is so good. It is so good. I cannot tell you, the right line was definitely the biggest problem with Favrneel. Like, people will play the Astra right line. I used to play the Omina right line. People played the Bruce right line. Like, even the stand-up deck set right line for Favrneel was really bad. Yeah, it's just been insane that we finally get a proper right line for this deck. And I will conclude by saying that this deck is absolutely viable in the meta. Favrneel has 100% positive matchups against not only 2 tier 0 decks, but he absolutely can slam dunk on Chaos Breaker. He can slam dunk on most evasion and removal decks himself. Is an evasion and removal deck. He plays on an axis that is virtually not interactable unless your name is Stoikia, and it's just really good. Like, as long as Estation Kachidoki is not tier 0, which frankly, if you read the manga, it can't be. But like, as long as Estation Kachidoki is not tier 0, this deck will always be relevant. And I can say this with good confidence, I think Favrneel will be relevant until this format reboots, because this is such a great pool of support that frankly, I don't even know a deck that's gotten this much love in one single set. Favrneel is the standout of DZBT15, and frankly, it makes sense that he's the last stream for DZBT15 in terms of the review support. Look at this, it's so good, it is so fun, it is so viable. I just love it, which is why I'm going to keep playing this. I'm definitely going to keep bringing this to locals. I was supposed to bring it to a WGP, but there was some personal issues with that one. But I can absolutely tell you that I will be playing this for locals, like, at least for the rest of the year, at minimum, because I just love this deck so much. Like, it's not even about will this deck get banned or not. It can't, it's Favrneel. It's just so damn fun. Like, if you are a fan of Favrneel, if you don't buy this, shame on you, because this is the sum of our hard work paying off in flesh. And if you do not wish to walk through the gates of Purgatory and receive your reward, frankly, I just don't know what you want anymore. Like, if you gave this style of support to Eugene would be the new best deck in format. And that's not even a joke. I'm not even kidding. I spent 4 years telling you Favrneel Rheingold is a good card. Now that it is, are you guys going to doubt it? I don't know. But that's really all I have to say about Favrneel. It is just so fun. I love it so much. But I'm just going to take a few minutes before this video ends, and I want to talk about the state of the current format for DZBT15. DZBT15, at least from the initial week, seems pretty mad. Inazuma 11's alright. I mean, I love Inazuma 11, so I've been playing it a while. It is very fun. I've even played Victory Road on the Switch. And yeah, I've just really loved it. It's just been really fun. Besides that, Harri, like I've already said, is still far away the best in format, at least to most people. I definitely think Harri has merits as well, and that you need to study Harri as a deck if you want to play competitive. Night Rose is pretty bad. It's okay. It's like, she's fine, but like, you know, what does Dragoon gonna do for you? You know what I'm saying? PDD, Phantom Blaster Dragon, he's fine. I am going to talk about PBD down the line. It's a hope for me to talk about him. I just need to save a bit of extra money to be able to afford the deck. So, help me out, guys. I am hoping to talk about him. Chaos Breaker is going to be relevant forever. It's just that no one will bring this guy to a tournament because you are laughing stock if you do. Yeah, the fact that, if you look at every WGP result, like from the last weekend, nobody is winning with Chaos Breaker at all. And that's just because everyone just wants to play evasion, everyone just wants to play removal, just to escape Chaos Breaker. And frankly, I think that's a good solution. Rotovisor definitely dies to Chaos Breaker, but Favrneel, hell no, son. Hell no. Favrneel slam dunks on him because all of his support can evade away. And it is so funny. Like, if I went back in time and told you Favrneel is beating Chaos Breaker Dragon, would any of you believe me? No. But he is now. And that is a great place to start DZBT15. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all, especially like I said at the start, for those of you who have reached out to me. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm really happy I got to talk about this deck because testing this deck brought life back to me. That's how much it is. I am so happy that this is a deck. It's so fun. And next week I'll get even something more fun to talk about because it's my favorite sons, the Narukami. So for the next few videos, I am gonna do about DZBT15. I am gonna talk about DZBT15. So there is gonna be some stuff moving to the month of July. There is gonna be some of the July promos, July August promos for Japan. So I am looking to get them and talk about them. So yeah, it is a very, very exciting time. In terms of releases and stuff, very frankly. Buddy Fight 2 is coming out. Not that I'll play Buddy Fight, but I'm sure the people who play Buddy Fight would love it because I've seen some of the cards. It is pretty good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more videos about it. But I will just be honest and tell you that in terms of my personal life, while a lot of you have wished me, all the best and hope that things get better, I do thank you for that. Right now though, I just will say that for the current first 2 to 3 weeks of July, I am kind of pretty stuck clearing some examinations, and because of that, the video upload is going to be a bit slower just for this period of time. I didn't want to do that, frankly. I actually wanted to start DZBT15 as soon as it came out, but the Yakuza video project just took too long, and now this, so it is going to take me a while to cover the whole of DZBT15, at least the decks I want to talk about. So I do ask for your patience. It will take a while, but I will do it. Okay, I will do it. I've heard what you guys have said. I know what you guys are talking about. I will talk about DZBT15. It's not a concern for you guys that, oh no, he's gonna go away. I will talk about it because generally there is some stuff in this set that means a lot to me, enough to sit down and try it and then to come back and talk to you about it. Like this guy, come on, man. This deck's so fun. I could sit here for another hour and just keep muttering this deck is so fun because it is so fun, man. I do. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.